Abusia, Mr. Baffoe Bonnie versus Gertrude Arabato-Kono and AfenyoMarkins. Abusia, Mena Woka say, former Chief Justice Gertrude Arabato-Kono, or nature say, micro minority leader, AfenyoMarkins, or more person, everything within their power say, Papa no vetting, and I say, new Chief Justice John Dramani Mahama appointed Mr. Baffoe Bonnie no, the vetting no. Ene just na approve no mon pese very successful abusia a me no woka say AfenyoMarkins Gertrude Arabato-Kono achi na chese o mo fight Baffoe Bonnie ne vetting na me no woka say enimguase aka AfenyoMarkins ene chese Gertrude Arabato-Kono. Speaker of Parliament Aban Baben said the omo ye ne de enya de no besi Baffoe Bonnie ne vetting no ano kwanya abusia sama akoso no ese wani ensese mekacho Ivan Chain Innocent eden semne munchemu aba bedome ya mepese mbami akore kwa kuti nsema ekose nansa na bekono jumedi onya like ya ba like subscribe to the channel na afiso share jumedi no ma onu ansonsa into me enkebi medamase.
It is clearly a survivor. I know that you don't blame anybody, and after all, she's not the only person I'll go through, and I'm shocked why MPP is still pursuing this particular matter. Do you know why? Because the whole show now, the whole show, no, sometimes you begin even to doubt the competence of the former Chief Justice. The whole process, you know.
Doubt.
Yes, you doubt the competence because, and this whole thing makes the whole thing quite a bit funny. For instance, if you go to the Constitution, it is clearly espoused in unambiguous terms, very clear. Your friend say the process na yade this assembly, Article 146 process, you know, must be held in camera. That is an absolute position of the law. There is nothing anybody can do about it unless the Constitution is amended. Then the Chief Justice goes to court and says, court, waive that particular thing and let me have mine on TV. Aren't you worried? Because for her to even conceive that notion, you know, is quite problematic. You see, Ghana, for issues,
the law is the law.
The law is the law.
And she knows the law.
And this provision in act being springing on us.
And the law must be applied always.
Exactly. It has a constitutional foundation. So you don't even raise that argument to say, Mama Media TV. So because judge now will be no, he doesn't have power to do that. That is why Justice Amadou Tanko in his ruling made it quite clear. Say, you are asking us to do the impossible. Because we as a court, we don't have the power to vary a constitutional provision because it is absolute. Where there is some sort of a lack of clarity on the provision, that is where the judge is enjoined to put interpretation on the clause. But this one, must be held in camera. Do you need interpretation?
No.
You don't need any interpretation on it. So a whole Chief Justice to make argument to say, you know TVs, you know, don't you anti-war.
Article 146(8), you know.
Exactly.
That's it. All proceedings under this article shall be held in camera.
Okay.
And the justice or chairman against whom the petition is made is entitled to be heard in his defense by himself or by a lawyer or anyone of his choice.
Good. So, Adia Okan and your act and your CI it's a constitutional provision. The foundation, you know, is in the Constitution. So, why would the Chief Justice ask you need the OTV? So, then when you that particular young granting that relief, you know, then she goes on TV and the content of the petition, you know, she takes it on TV and read to people everything. Don't you think they were breachy? So, now no make catch you say process na ye Chief Justice said, you know. Say even say a copy say odi bema ade na oye no another grounds of incompetence, another person made me submit a petition for her removal because you breach the Constitution in the process of seeking this relief. You breach it. So at the end of the day, your competence even you bring it to question. So because as a Chief Justice, we are grounded in law. These are basic errors that you should not do. You understand? So for me, I think say politics na no say seriousness be wom na say ye operate with due diligence your conscience. I'm not sure say anybody on the side of the MPP will be following this woman anymore because as I me by the father saying and what is say omotie don't forget Chief Justice a member of Judges Association in this country. But what's your monka baby? What be say why? Because the mother association is the Judges Association. what is our kasada? So Ghana bar association ebe ya mouthpiece no mu wo ma ono ankasa ne kuba time no dem judges na ankasa are quiet observing the process and nobody has raised anyway. Now what in China also be there? It's up to you.
Anti anka se anamo a omampeni etu no senka enfam bremu a.
Yes.
Anka Judges Association of Ghana.
Yes.
Anka omo aba mountain.
Obviously somebody would have. Because on winning panel no say omu tua di so no so tua bi.
So
yes, and omo so na no dey na me ka kira man for say you can emra. We a lawyer, you don't interpret laws. We a lawyer, you are just trained to have a refined understanding of the law. But it is not in your place to interpret a constitution. So sometimes you see people on TV and a crossway or church you opinion or what they so. A judge is the only person that is your friend say injuncted with the power to put interpretation on the court. We are judge, we are lawyer, the can be our drink. That is why we election petitioner Chachuchi Kata of all people to be solid and answer make all the argument we are not judging about to go. Because they say the law is at the bosom of the judge. The interpreting you as a lawyer, you
don't have the discretion.
No. Yours is to you see have a refined understanding
of the law.
Judge, it make sense to the judge or to me, I do opposition to him. But you don't interpret laws. What I say, and we don't interpret laws. But you were trained to understand the law, and then they are not putting interpretation, which the Judges Association. You think if something has gone contrary and come your man. What I say. So for me, this whole thing is politics. You understand? My man kasa crack or tenance or mess it up because this short period, petition call or quaternary committee there has been a catalog of incompetence and what display for me I think there are grounds for another removal. So this particular issue there is no issue. Oh no. Baffoe should go and meet Parliament, go to the vetting. I know the Parliament gentleman Uncle the Chief Justice, but Tokono dear she's a goner and on him that she can fight and for baby because as long as she has not been able to prove exactly what occasion the wrong within the remit of the law, no dear. The other can be an emotional expression of whatever and or express it. And for me, AfenyoMarkins and co, that is what they do. For them, politics is about being destructive, becoming a saboteur, stopping the process, and then as forth. On one said this particular thing. The Akroma na your friend say e-levy. Look at the kind of pressure some of us mounted on Parliament to say, don't go ahead and do it. Okujato and is it one other minister? Is it Haruna Idris or one other person took the issue to court? The court sat aloof. You understand? By another, you want a court to the Parliament, master of its own proceedings. Our court, to be directed by a court to stop the proceeding. So speaker, yes, and I'm not sure she's going to heed to those nonsense. No. Baffoe, the Chief Justice, because what we are looking at, say. Your judicial system no nice once again because who are winning you know the kind of issues Ghanaians had about the institution called the judiciary. It became so dirty to the sense that they got them trust, confidence, so we take it upon ourselves that there is the need for us to revive the competence and the credibility of the judiciary. And that is exactly what the president is seeking to do. And a lot of people have been brought on the fold because in the past year, we pushing some individuals into the place. People with known partisan ties were even pushed to become Supreme Court judges against the sensibility of the people. Because people are watching. Everybody in this country is politically sensitive. And the I contested on the ticket of NDC pen. Recently, I see in the past, it doesn't matter. But then people have become politically conscious. Supreme Court judge. You may have all the knowledge in the world. You can say, I will be fair. But will people trust you?
No.
But in a governance architecture, what people don't get is not about just competence. It is about the trust and confidence we, the citizens, repose in the institution. Because at the end of the day, it is our trust and confidence that will make or that will guarantee your survival. It's not about police. If you go to any democratic state and you think police need soldier for and the bomb mine I'm saying bibi how kakra because a trust and confidence are nipa or more mine every post and a massa and we must always do everything to ensure say we guarantee public trust and confidence, and that's exactly what is happening. So we need to save the judiciary by making sure say Nema Emma Ghana for any trust and confidence. And young we've out and within element of a portray incompetence in the must be flushed out. Sabaya Ghana for will be clear on their mind. Say, I have an institution impartial, very neutral, very independent. I can rely on the judiciary. We live in a country where a man for professor obebudia dance over court. Uno binya sama obe front when your mabo diana we instead of court because the court process and the people don't trust it. In recent time we call social media. Look at the way the judiciary was being subjected to some sort of ridicule, public mortification. Unanimous this, ruling bad. They were predictable. People were even suggesting, say, "Obetim the judiciary now could try bet and answer for them." This mockery, people might think that it's just opinion. No, aggregation of it reflected the trust and confidence public have in the institution. So we are serious as a president, and you take earnest measures to resolve it, just to build public confidence. Maamiya Mokomani. She's the same woman who took pen and paper and wrote list of people, say, President, appoint these people as Supreme Court judges. Isn't it a mark of incompetence? Because as a Chief Justice, you know the process. Your friend is saying, a judge of the Superior Court of Judicature, you know the process. And now, as a Chief Justice, now paper throw among 14, you circumvent all the processes, the consultative processes now you're involved now. You circumvent everything. Take a list and send it to the president and say, "Oh, appoint a man for." You are advertising nothing but incompetence. You are telling people that you are not fit for purpose. You can occupy that particular role, and there are enough grounds for you to be removed because these are sensitive positions. Because these are people who are clothed with the power to take away your liberty, your freedom.
Okay, abusuyan teachers some no movie ene ekokoti ne ba show dwumadi onya like ya oba like subscribe to the channel na so share dwumadi no ma onu ansonsa entumi enkebi abusuyan fe momye nkone nkoti efa etosuminu no ensema ekoso eye black rasta enso abedrop expose bi efa eye kwabena edubu ahen na lawyer efa no lawyer attach ya ho abusuyan sama black rasta so de tu dano na ensem no ano ere ntema person ba mi akọ na akwakuti black rasta so nsema ono so ede tu da efa lawyer attach ya edubu ahen na lawyer no enko ne nkonkuti
paper that's very important to every human being as I see so your liberty, your freedom. So once it is curtailed, everything has been taken away. So the person clothed with the power to take those things away from you, that person must exercise discretion. That is absolute, that is powerful, and that must appear neutral. You understand? So I think going forward, these are some of the things that we must be guided. There be a Roberto as Ghana and Nibia will serve in whichever capacity, bear in mind. Say your allegiance is to the people of this country, your service is to the people, isn't to anybody who appointed you, the puppet, whoever who gave you power. Obana we are say, to serve that particular person. Trust me. And that's exactly the unfortunate situation that the Chief Justice found herself in. It's quite unfortunate, but it is what it is. Like she said, the law is the law. And that is the law, and nothing can be done about it. She's a goner. She must accept her fate and go. After all, Chief Justice Nenya Busunya Kumya. And Yasia Kumya, and I can say Nana Kumya near Ubiba no Biakona Rollins a crowd with her. So, Panon Croma with her. Oh, Chief Justice will not be Diache. Yes, Nipana would do almost one pell. What is your problem? Just go. I keep telling people that never be comfortable at a place you are not needed. That's my basic principle. The people say they don't need you. So what is this fight for? You go and ply another trade. Chief Justice. You can go and be relevant in other fields as well. But Chief Justice in the Nema why and I think we and there is nothing that will bring her back.
I see. Auntie, AfenyoMarkins more cornea and more mutu in an enkusiak.
Oh, I said AfenyoMarkins has been a beneficiary of tokenos. Your friend is saying some of the bad discretionary exercise. For the first time on the parliament issue, look at the lightning speed with which the Chief Justice set a date for that particular proceedings. The following day, so Okusiano or Demo Okusiano, anybody also not several parliament with the whole thing. Okay. Sambreno. Now there were a lot of critical issues pending. As a president, as a OD was 1 year LGBT was one of them, and several other cases. So I know the day, when you do that, you demonstrate bias and certain affinity to the person, and hold on. And conventionally, I'm told at that time, not Fridays, not Supreme Court, but surprisingly, out of the blue, she empaneled and they sat on that particular issue. It means you have a vested interest. You're in the eyes of the people. we were dealing with a Supreme Court at the time, in the eyes of the people, you were seen to be a neutral. So at the end of the day, if you are being seen as a neutral, then you validate the opinions and the perception people have about you. You understand? So as a sensible person, you don't do some of these things. But they were blinded by their greed. They were blinded by their unholy alliances and affinities.
As a sensible person, don't you think it's too harsh?
Oh, no. Because a sensible person is being the same as being a reasonable person, assessing all the facts on the ground.
I would have preferred that you use
no, it's the same thing. It's addiction depending on the choice you make. But the argument is that exercising discretion without thinking. You see, that is how it is. So I think the Omoyen is just politics. They just want to drag the process and create a certain impression, say something ill has happened. But the question is, what is the ill? Pontificate it and let's know. Because if you're able to prove a point, are they committing illegal?
In big trouble. Now, Atachia is a renowned lawyer. He cut his teeth as a lawyer after law school with Prempeh and Co. And over there, my brother, my sister, he worked very hard. He also found himself in the office of the Attorney General at the time. He's a man who loves to read. He's a man who many people can point to and say, this is a very good lawyer. But for some time now, it looks like he's the most uncomfortable lawyer in Ghana. The most desperate lawyer in Ghana. My brother, my sister, this is Atachia. Samuel Atachia. Now, a couple of days ago, Atachia went to court in one of the most anticipated cases in Ghana. The case of theft, abuse of office, abuse of power, and at the same time, wickedness and foolishness. All slapped on the face of one man, Kwabena Edubuahene. Now, this guy's face has become synonymous with corruption and theft and abuse of office. He was said to have created a certain underground room in the name of the NSB, National Signals Bureau, where he captured people to torture them to be able to extract some information from them. It's also alleged that he chased people on the streets after tracking their conversations on their mobile phones using national security apparatuses. And he succeeded in kidnapping a number of people. This guy here called Kwabena Edubuahene is also said by investigators to have stolen from the national security's coffers 7 million American dollars. And all the money was tracked into his account. He told the whole Ghana that his former boss, who is now dead, authorized him to open that account in the name of the national security. Fair enough. What did he ask that you use the money in the account for? That is where thievery comes into being. A young man, about 44 years old, born in 1981, January of 1981, coming from a poor family, my brother, my sister, all of a sudden saw power and money and became greedy, according to investigators. 7 million that was supposed to be used to buy some equipment from Israel to help the security apparatuses in Ghana grow. He siphoned this money into his account and he started blowing it like the criminal that he is. Some he gave to his girlfriend, Rashida. According to investigators, flew her all over the world, chilling in the Ghanaian parlance. He gave some to his mother, and he used a big chunk of it to build houses, buy houses for himself in his name and the name of his wife. My brother, my sister, today the face of his wife, a woman from very humble beginnings and backgrounds, has all of a sudden become synonymous with corruption, theft, and wickedness as well. My brother, my sister, his own driver, who he used to send around to collect big bags of money from the bank, has turned back against him, and he's now siding